Alright everybody, what we got in front of us right now is a task that I've been wanting to show you guys for a really long time. I just haven't had the opportunity because I haven't had a new SKS in a while. We've got here an unissued M59/66A1 SKS. This one's Yugoslavian made. If you're watching this video, you know how much of a pain in the ass Cosmoline removal can be. But hopefully you'll glean a little knowledge from this video and you can do it yourself. It's really not that hard. I mean, literally, the parts on this gun are glued together with Cosmoline. Cosmoline is a storage grease that is used to store firearms for a long period of time. I mean, they can store them anywhere. Warehouses, freaking caves, anywhere. If a gun is caked in this substance, it will not rust, it will not corrode, it will not rot away. The wood and everything is completely soaked in this substance. The purpose of this video is going to be for us to remove it. First thing to do, you have to fully disassemble the gun. I'm going to go ahead and accomplish that now. Most of you probably already know how to take the SKS apart. I'm not going to explain what I'm doing. I'm just going to let you watch. Ooh, boy, that safety's freaking cake shut, man. Oh, wow. Yeah, so you're going to see this kind of stuff when you're taking it apart. See that Cosmoline everywhere? It's freaking filthy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a good one, all right. It's cake. Definitely not for the faint of heart. Boy, this thing is cake. Poopy nasty. Okay. Alright, we've pretty much gotten the gun broken down to its most basic components. Go ahead and pull this whole assembly out of here, out of the gas system. I know you can't really see what I'm doing, but I mean, I'm just basically trying to kind of show you what's entailed in doing this, okay? This is not for the faint of heart. Do not attempt to take this gun apart unless you're completely comfortable with the process of doing it. We've got the gun broke down to its basic components, about as far as I want to take it down to. Now I'm going to discuss ways to remove this stuff. You can see right there that we've got a nice nasty coat of Cosmoline on this cover. Alright, one of the best ways to remove it, if you don't mind going to the hardware store and picking you up 2 or 3 cans of carb cleaner or brake cleaner. This is excellent for cleaning off Cosmoline, as I'm about to demonstrate. And don't worry, it won't harm the bluing in any way. Alright. That's a good start. Still got a little bit of Cosmoline to contend with, but just to show you an example, that's a good way to get the Cosmo off. I'm going to show you my preferred method. Now, the application of the carb cleaner that we just used on this top cover did a really good job. It got a good bit of the Cosmoline off. If you've got access to an ultrasonic cleaner, it's always a good idea to use that. So I'm going to drop several of the small parts in the ultrasonic and allow it to tackle a lot of the heavy work. I know this is cheating, but oh well. Now, one of the other ways that you can tackle Cosmoline is if it's a nice hot summer day, you can take all of your parts and lay them out on a a drop cloth or whatever, or hang them up, suspend them from some old pins or whatever you got, and let the sun melt all the Cosmoline and it'll drip out of the action, the stock and everything. In fact, that's what I'm going to do with the stock. I'm going to let it sit up in the sun and let the sun melt a lot of the Cosmoline out of it. It's a little bit slower to do it that way, but it works. We're going to use ultrasonic just because, hey, we got access to one, so why not? Works a lot better than you might think. We're going to finish it off in the ultrasonic, but this is just to get a lot of the surface Cosmoline off. And this helps get it out of a lot of little crack and crevices and things. Alright. Since we're cheating and using the ultrasonic, I'll show you a way to cheat with the wood. We're cheating a little bit on the metal when we're using the ultrasonic, but on the wood, now on some of the SKSs you're going to get a varying amount of Cosmoline that actually soaks into the wood itself. Luckily on this one it's really not all that bad, so I don't think some time in the sun is really going to be necessary for it. Although you will get some seepage. I mean, when you shoot the gun it's going to heat up and you'll get a little bit of Cosmoline come out of the pores of the wood. That's fine. You're going to get a bit of that no matter how well you clean it. You just go ahead and wipe that down when you're at the range. It's not that big of a deal. Wood has a pretty good bit of Cosmoline in it, but what I use is a product called Zep Powerhouse. It's essentially oven cleaner, but without all the harsh crap in it. It's going to give this stock a nice coat of Zep, and it's really going to help draw a lot of that Cosmoline out of this. It's pretty much the same type of thing you would run into if you were trying to refinish a stock and you wanted to clean it well. This Zep does an excellent job of that. I'm going to give the Zep a chance to work, and we're going to wipe it down. That's really all there is to it. This stuff works though. I wouldn't tell you if it didn't work. Ray turned me on to it. It does one hell of a job on cleaning stocks. And it's not real obtrusive. It doesn't hurt the wood. It doesn't attack the finish. It just draws all the crud out of the stock. Got a nice coat of Zep on the stock. Just going to wipe it down. This is going to get rid of most of our Cosmoline. You'd be surprised how efficiently it draws it out of the wood without causing a whole lot of obtrusive damage to the underlying finish or anything like that. Once it dries out, it will dry the wood out just a little bit. It's not a problem. Just follow up with a good stock conditioner and that'll help. See that? We've got us a nice Cosmoline soup going over there in the ultrasonic. These parts have only been in the ultrasonic for about 30 minutes. Hot water, simple green, and look at that. Looks like it never seen a bit of Cosmoline before. Ready to reinstall. Alright, I've been cleaning up some of the parts on this gun, and I can definitely tell that this thing has probably not been fired in quite some time, if at all. I mean, maybe test fired, but every part in this gun is in pristine condition. The ultrasonic did a really good job of cleaning this stuff up like we wanted it to. Alright, now if you don't have an ultrasonic cleaner or access to one, you're going to have to just pretty much use a lot of elbow grease and a good bit of carb cleaner. See, look at that. Look how free that gas piston is. That's exactly how it's supposed to operate. We're going to get all these parts cleaned up, wiped down, and ready to reassemble, and we'll test fire it and make sure everything's going to work okay for us. I would definitely take the time to clean the bolt really well, the bolt itself. You don't want any Cosmoline in that firing pin channel, because you can get slam fires and you don't want that. Trigger mech looks good, nothing wrong here. I've coated the whole thing down with a light bit of oil, but I am going to take some heavy rig grease. Put on a few areas, one being the disconnector. Want that engagement to be nice and smooth. A little grease helps. One area is where the sear slides. The actual mag catch slides along with the sear in there, so we want a little bit of rig grease in there just to help it slide along nice and smooth. Should be just fine. There. A little bit on the back of the hammer here. Anywhere you see a wear pattern, go ahead and put it. It'll help. If you want your mag catch to be nice and smooth, go ahead and put a little bit on the lip of the mag catch. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Alright. Trigger's lubricated and oiled up, the trigger mechanism I should say, and it's ready to go back in. Got a few more things to clean up and we'll go ahead and get it reassembled and test fire. Here's an excellent example of what a little bit of time in the sun can do for the stock in terms of getting the Cosmoline out. You may not be able to tell a whole lot. We've got a little bit creeping out here on the comb of the stock. I'm going to take and wipe that down. And using this method, you can get all the oil out of the stock. It might take you a little bit of time. But it will slowly creep out. So we're going to keep repeating this process until the stock is got all the Cosmoline boiled out like we want. Now you can fix yourself up a little rig to accomplish this quicker. If you want to take an old metal trash can, put you a couple of high voltage, high wattage light bulbs in it, let it get nice and warm, not too warm, maybe about 200 degrees, and all that Cosmoline will just seep down out of the stock. In the process though, you will dry the stock out a little bit, so you will need to apply maybe just a little bit of a conditioner to the stock to help. We're going to repeat this process several times until all the Cosmoline is out of the stock. Alright, so we've gotten most of the Cosmoline out of this SKS. Of course, you're not going to get every little bit. Some of it will have to just shoot out. Barrel action looks real nice. No issues there. I'm going to take and just put a coat of stock wax on the stock, especially in some of the areas that might have dried out a little bit from the Cosmoline removal. Just want to make sure the stock has, you know, protection. Just makes it look nice. Alright, so we're going to finish up the stock wax, reassemble, and test fire. There's really not a whole lot to it. Okay, we got all the Cosmoline out of the rifle. Let's see how it works. Ready to go play.